Good morning and welcome to Social Security Today. I'm your host, Jeffrey Rodriguez, and I'm the Public Affairs Specialist with Social Security Administration here in the Orange County, and thank you for joining me this morning. I have a lot of information I want to go over, but I hope that you're all doing well and enjoying today. Hard to believe we're already in June of 2015. This year has just moved through quickly. So I do want to share some information with you. And matter of fact, it's kind of funny how sometimes as I'm preparing to share information with you, I guess because I'm a little more aware of those stories or those topics, that I start to pick up other things that are going on, or I hear other stories. And it's the same. Last night, as I had reviewed my notes and I was at a function, I was speaking with someone, and she was mentioning to me that she was a cancer survivor, that about 5 years ago, way back 15 years ago, she had a serious bout with cancer, had beat it, and then about 5 years ago, it looked like it wanted to repeat, and she beat it again. But the one that she had 15 years ago, the doctors had told her that they still are marveled at how she came through and was able to beat that cancer. And she was saying how difficult it was and what she went through, and at times really thinking that it was the end for her. But it was neat to speak with her and see now how she really appreciates every moment that she has and just enjoying life in a whole different way. I would even say she lives life very differently. I think she took a lot of things for advantage, and maybe the lifestyle, just thinking that, you always have tomorrow. And looking at her now, she really celebrates every moment. Even her interaction with family and friends is much different, and I've seen that over the years. And understandably, I didn't know that she had gone through that. I knew her of about 5-10 years ago, and so it was prior to me knowing her and meeting her. And so it was neat to hear her story and where she's at today. And I say all this because this month of June is National Cancer Survivor Day. On June 7th is the actual day that they celebrate. And as far as I was looking at the information, and there's over 1 million people in 2015 that will be diagnosed with cancer. Over 1 million people, and that's just astonishing, an alarming statistic when we look at that, and the people and the families all over that are just impacted by this. You can see there that what we do in Social Security is we really try to encourage. What we're looking at is we want others to know about what they can do, what we at Social Security, what programs we have for them. So as June 7th approaches rapidly for us and coming up, take some time. If you know someone who has gone through cancer, really celebrate that day with them. Take them out to lunch, take them out to dinner, take them out for a cup of coffee, and just tell them, I'm glad that you beat cancer and that you're here to tell your story, and just really celebrate with them. And so what we do at Social Security is, and we try to do as much as possible, advocacy obviously in our programs, but above and beyond that is really a lot of the health things that we talk about and we provide in our literature, and such things as encouraging people to have checkups, to have get that early detection when it comes to cancer, and the awareness, not just for the person that's going to be going through the cancer, but through the whole family. Those of us, I've been impacted by cancer. I wish I could say that, I'm celebrating a Survivor's Day. I had the other side, and so the awareness and just overall everything that one should know and be prepared for, and the different things that cancer will, the different steps and the treatments. Just do what we can to support those people through their battle, and especially I would say once they've gone through and they've beat that cancer, just get around them, surround them, and celebrate life with them. So let's celebrate National Cancer Survivors Day on June 7th, and continue to support. I know that through our federal campaign. We lift up funds. All the federal employees have an opportunity to donate, and there's a good number of people that donate towards cancer research and how for ways that we can look at finding a cure for cancer. That's what it's all about. Today I have my pink tie on in the same, knowing I was going to come on today on the air and talk about this. Do what we can just to support those people, so thank you. And what we do at Social Security, on the flip side, not only just the awareness and the preparation before and encouraging the checkups and the early detection and the overall awareness from a health aspect, and we partner when we're going out into presentations and speaking, but also within internally, when we have someone that has applied for disability, what we look at is in what we call compassionate allowance. Compassionate allowance is where we have medical cases where the conditions are so severe, such as cancer, that they're so severe. What we do is we take and we look at a whole different aspect at them. Obviously, we know that they are going to meet the standards for disability in order to be approved. So what we do is we try to gather that information, and it allows us ahead of time to detect that. We have internal systems. As we enter the information into our computer, into our program, what it does is the entries that we make in telling the system why the person is filing for disability, it'll detect for us, if we haven't already, to say, will this person fall under what's called compassionate allowance? Meaning, is this a illness that is identified for kind of that fast track where we know that they're going to meet the requirements and we want to get them their benefits as quick as possible. It isn't going to be one that we're going to have to really develop and take a look at, and it's going to take a while in order for us to do that, the 4 months, 6 months, or the second opportunity as they maybe reapply. It would be on that first set we look at it, gather the doctor's information to verify their stage, whether it be cancer or their other illnesses. There's a whole list, and you can go onto our website and take a look at that listing. If you have someone that's going to be going in and applying for disability, would they meet the compassionate allowance criteria? And if they do, then with that minimal medical information, all we need is to make sure that they fall in that. And once they do, right away we're jumping them through, we're approving their benefits, we're getting benefits into their hands. In extreme cases such as ALS, we don't even have the 24-month waiting period for Medicare. What we do is right away, if we know that they have the ALS, and once it's diagnosed and we have that information from the doctor, we're approving their claim, we're getting them the Medicare that they need immediately. It's all part of compassionate allowance. And what we try to do in Social Security within the claims representative side and the service representative side is treat others as you would want someone to treat maybe your mom or a family member or even yourself. And if we use that guideline, then when we're looking at compassionate allowance or we're looking at these other programs to help these people get the benefits that they're due, what we find is that they actually feel that empathy that we do have. And I work with great people. As you meet or you have business with Social Security, you're going to find out the representatives in Social Security, great people. I love to work with them. I love the job I do. One, because I get to meet people such as yourselves. I get to be out in the community and interact and hear the stories and hear how Social Security has benefited them. And then on the flip side, when I go back into the offices, I see the hard work that each of the workers are doing in order to get the claims to do their job correctly under pressure and stress, and all the claims are coming through, and yet spending individual time. There's no cookie-cut approach to what we do in Social Security. Each person is an individual, and we respect that. And no different when we're looking at disability or the compassionate allowance. We know that there's different levels of disabilities, and so we're really trying our best to meet the public's needs and do our job efficiently, to be wise stewards, to be those good stewards of those resources that we have for these programs. So if you're looking at the compassionate allowance, as I said, you can go on to our website and you can search for that listing to see what the current list is as far as those symptoms that would give someone that compassion allowance, or just looking at the different standards as far as whether someone meets a insured disability, or maybe they're not insured through Social Security currently, and so maybe they're filing for supplemental security income, the SSI that we administrate. Either way, a lot of information, great information. If you go to our website, you can go to our website /compassion allowance. It'll take you right to that list and that information. So either way, if you're helping someone with a disability, if you yourself are going through, I trust that the information that you have will be useful to you through our website. Use our website. It's great information. A lot of what I do when I go out and I speak in public, or I go into a business and I'm presenting the information to a group, I reassure them and I tell them where I get my information when I'm preparing to come out and speak is I look at our website, because our website has great information and it's easy to understand. It's written in a format not like our policies. Our policies, because of the legal aspect of it, are very detailed, and it's difficult to understand. So when you look at our website, what you're looking at is the true intent, and that policy has been taken in and easy for you to understand, easy for me to present when I go out. So I encourage you to take a look at our website. I want to go to the next picture, or to a picture, and hopefully you can identify what this is. If you go on to that next slide for me when you get a chance, if you see this or you take a look at this, how many remember this? The picture that I'm showing you here, this is the same typewriter. Yeah, I said typewriter. Do you remember that word? Typewriter, a royal typewriter. This is the same one that my mother had in our home, and she was very proficient. She was a secretary at a school, at an elementary school for many years, and this is where she taught me how to type, right on this same type of typewriter. And I remember pressing down on those keys, and you had to press hard enough in order for it to make the impression and get the ink off the ribbon. And if you pressed too many or tried to go too fast, they'd all kind of jam up at the top, and you had to unclick them. And you had the wonderful slide up on the top to bring the carriage back to the next line. It was great. I loved it. It was a fantastic machine. Made a lot of noise, that thunk and that whole noise when you were pressing down. It was just fun to use. Well, typewriters, and the reason I bring it up, not for the nostalgic aspect, although for me that's always fun, but I bring up the typewriters because one of the things that we've gone is from typewriters to megabytes. Totally different information, totally different thing that we're talking about now. One, the typewriter, I'm not going to call it archaic, but the system that we used to use in order to write out information, to print out information. And the first typewriter, as you see there, was in June 23rd, 1868 was when that first typewriter was made. 100 years later, Social Security was still using, in 1968, which was the year I was born, we were still using typewriters to issue Social Security cards. Now what we have is we've replaced those with electronic files. So we no longer use and go to the back room and type out on a card and give you your card. What we do is we enter the information. We're identifying, is a person eligible for their card? Do they have the proper identity? We're always protecting your identity. In a world, especially as we've moved to these megabytes, where we've moved into the age of electronic files and internet and all of that, when we look at that, what we realize is we have to protect the person's identity. With so much theft going on, with all that surrounds us, people with malicious ideas to take your information and use it for their benefit and steal that, we need to do our part. And part of what we're doing, or what we look at, is to protect you. Now, one of the easiest ways that you can protect your information, instead of having so much information mailed to you, or asking and requesting that it be mailed, or getting a printout and having that lay around with vital information, what we call it, your private information, your identifiable information, PII. What we ask you to do is to take the time and to create a My Social Security account. When you create a My Social Security account, instead of having to have your statements prior to receiving benefits, have that statement mailed to you, you look at it right on, you go to our website, you log in after you've created your account, and you have the information right in front of you. You don't have to have it printed, something that someone could come and take and use. You don't have to have it mailed to maybe where it's stolen in the mail or sent to a wrong address and it gets in the wrong hands. What you have is now the ability, because we've created electronic files with all your information, your work history, how much benefit or your benefit amount, and if you're already receiving benefits, you can update your address. You can do all of these other things when you create a My Social Security account. It takes you maybe about 10 minutes at most, 5-10 minutes to answer the challenge questions to make sure that you are who you say you are. You create a password, and anytime that you want to go in and look at your information, you're able to. If it's prior to receiving benefits, you're going to be able to go on and you can create an estimate. We have calculators you can look at using your information and figure out how much will I receive at this age or at this time, at this point, so that you can be sure that you're planning and making everything ahead of time. And then once you start receiving benefits, then the My Social Security account, you can maintain your address correctly if you move, or if you need to update or create if you haven't put in for direct deposit, which is the safest way. Don't have a live check to be going out to you. Have it sent direct deposit. You can do that right through the My Social Security account. And this year, I shared earlier this year, you have the 1099s that come out. You can print those right out through your My Social Security account. There is so much, and we're constantly adding. We recently have added as well through our website in a secure fashion where you can have your Medicare card reprinted, sent to you. All these things that we're doing because we want to make it easy for you. We want to retain where when you're coming into the office and you're coming to look to do something in the office, it really is reserved for those complex situations where you can't take care of over the phone. You can't go onto the website and something easy through My Social Security that you're maintaining or updating, where it's really that complex situation or question you've already researched and you've done your research online and you can't find the answer that you need. That's the appropriate time to come into our office. Other than that, we want to give you as much access as possible and ability to take care of what you can without having to come into the office and wait to see someone, without having to call and speak to someone and go through that process. You will have access to do many things as it increases, as we're able to identify, secure it, make sure that it's secure, that no one's going to be able to go in and do the same thing and steal your identities. We're protecting it's encrypted. All of these steps that we take prior to putting it out and having you have that available for you, we're making sure beforehand. So go on, set up your My Social Security account if you haven't done so. It's real easy. I've shown you before. Let me show you again. If you go to our home page, if you go to our website, right on the very front, once you log into socialsecurity.gov, what you'll see there on our website on the bottom left is that My Social Security account. You click right on that, it's going to take you to the next page, and once you hit that, you'll see on the My Social Security page, on the bottom left is create an account. If you've already created an account, then you're just going to log in. And if you were unable to create an account, let's say that perhaps you attempted to go in and you did the create my account and you're going through the process. And during that process, it says that they're unable to identify you, meaning maybe you didn't answer one of the questions correctly, the challenge questions, you couldn't remember exactly maybe some financial information, because we want to make sure that you are who you say you are in order for us to release that information to you. So when you're doing that, if you're unable to, or if you have a credit freeze, well, let's say you had some type of issues that were going on and a company that had your potentially someone went in and did some type of hacking onto their system, and there's a compromise or potential compromise of your information, and they're monitoring and they've frozen your credit accounts and they're watching to make sure that no one's going in and stealing your identity, then we can't set it up online. You would have to come in And all you need is your identity. To show us your identity, proof of who you are, we'll set it up for you. When you do that, then you're jumping back on and you're entering the authorization code. We'll give you an authorization code, and it's real quick. You go on and set up your password, and you're all set for the My Social Security account. Again, it takes you, if you're able to do it online, 5-10 minutes at most. Grabbing a cup of coffee, as I like to say, and especially for me, grabbing a donut with it, and you do it in the comfort of your home. If you're unable to get through because of some of those situations, the freezes or the credit freezes and checks, that's fine. Come into our office when you have an opportunity. We're open from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock every single day, Monday through Friday, except Wednesday, when we close at noon, and that is specifically so that the representatives in Social Security can work on your claims, on your cases. So other than that, Wednesday we close early from 9 to noon, but all the other days, Monday through Friday, 9 to 3, you come in, you show your ID, we set you up with that authorization code, and a lot of the offices we're moving towards is we're setting up a station that you can go to, and with that authorization code, you can go right there, enter it in, set up your password, and you're all set. So I greatly would say, please take the time to do so. It's in your best interest. A lot of this information, these things that I ask you to do, like creating a My Social Security account, it's for your benefit. We want you to have the access that you need, the information at your fingertips. Someone needs proof of the benefits you're receiving. You have a My Social Security account, you go right on, you click on and print out your benefit statement or proof of your benefits, you take it to them, and you have it right there. You have proof of your Medicare straight through that as well. So many things that you can do. June, changing kind of subjects here and going into my next topic here. June is known as the National Effective Communications Month. I'll say that again. June is the National Effective Communications Month. So what we're trying to do with that is communicate effectively. And when we look at this, I'm real proud of this. Social Security, we scored an A on the 2014 Federal Plain Language Report Card. What that means is the Center for Plain Language, they take a look at the information that we provide, our whether it be our pamphlets, our booklets, the letters that we send you, information that comes from us to you. They're taking a look at all of this, and this Center for Plain Language is established to say, can the normal person pick this up, read it, and understand it? Is there too much legal jargon? Is there too much that would inhibit them to really understand it? Are they going to need someone to explain them? Or is the information in such a way that you can read it, understand what's happening? And so our goal is in order to do that, is to have effective communication. Meaning that when we send you those letters, when we send you a statement, when we send you maybe something that is needed from you, it's real clear that there isn't this fog about the letter or the communication that is hard to understand. And again, I'm proud to say that Social Security has scored an A. Not only that, we've done this for the last 2 years. We have done an effective job, a great job. It has been on top of our list to say, this is what we want to do. We want to communicate to you effectively. So look at that information. We're hoping that it's something that's easy for you to understand. I'm going to jump through a couple question and answers. I'm going to start off with, say you had the question, how can I check the status of a pending application for retirement benefits? So you put in your retirement benefit and you're waiting and you haven't received anything yet. Well, here's the answer. If you applied for retirement or disability benefits online, you used our website, you went on and you applied for benefits online, then you can check the status of your claim, of that application, by going to our website once again, selecting the benefits, and then there's a section that would say check application status. And then under that apply, all you're going to do is you're going to click on that. It brings it up, and right before you, what you'll have is it'll show you the status. It's going to tell you the date that we received your application, so you know that it's protected from that date that's stated on there, the date we received it. It's going to have any request for any additional documents. If we're asking you for something, it's also going to be listed there. This would be like a letter that we've sent you, and electronically it's going to capture that. Because we're using this, again, we've gone from typewriters to megabytes, meaning to electronic files and electronic information. So you're going to be able to see when we received your application, the date, additional information that's required or documents, the address of the office that's processing your application, whether it's our internet claim unit and where they're located at, or it's a local office that's doing it. There's two different units that could be doing it in order to complete this timely. And you'll also see the decision that has been made, whether it's pending or there truly has been a decision and you just haven't received that final information. So as I share that information, I hope that helps. If you have a pending claim and you did it online, you're going to be able to check the status. You can go right back on and check that as well. The last question and answer I want to cover there is, how do I know if I've met the eligibility requirements to meet or to receive Social Security disability benefits? Well, the answer is this. In order to qualify for Social Security benefits, disability benefits, you have to be what we call covered. You have to be out within the last 10 years of work. At least 5 years have been paid into Social Security, meaning that you've paid into that FICA, Social Security insurance. So if you've done that, then you will be what we call currently insured, and you would be covered under the disability insurance. You also must have a medical condition that meets the Social Security definition for disability. And what that is that it's going to last over a year. It's going to be something that a disability that prevents you from working in any capacity, not just working at your job and unable to do that. It's in any capacity. But if you go online and you take a look at the benefits there, disability, there's great information. Again, I'm going to push you back to our website, because that's where you want to go for all your information. That's what we put in money to establish, to set up a great place for you. As I close, I want to share this. August 14th, 1935, 80 years ago, we're celebrating now our 80th anniversary. And with that, I shared before that the Commissioner has put out a message that as we observe this 80th anniversary, what we're looking at is all these programs and the legacy of Social Security. It's out there. You can go to our website. The last thing there is you can go to our website and look up the 80th anniversary and look at all our information. So thank you for spending time with us. Thank you for being here this morning. Until the next time, be safe. God bless America, and especially Laguna Woods.